أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من يطع الرسول فقد أطاع الله ومن تولى فما أرسلناك عليهم حفيظا صدق الله العظيم. My dear and respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, one day our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting and Sahaba was sitting around him. In the gathering on the majlis of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sahaba would sit with utmost respect, because Allah revealed in Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tuqaddimu bayna yaday Allahi wa rasulih. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tarfa'u aswatakum fawqa sawti an-nabi. That when you are in the presence of Rasul sallallahu, try to be quiet and speak only when needed. And when speaking, the tone of your voice should be down. Otherwise, أن تحبط أعمالكم وأنتم لا تشعرون. Otherwise, all your good deeds will go wasted. All your good deeds will go waste, and you will not know that because of su'ul adab, because of the disrespect towards Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all of your good deeds are gone. So therefore, when Sahaba will sit, they will sit with utmost respect. So on that particular day, Sahaba was sitting with the same respect towards Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then what happened was that an unknown man, not known to anybody, right? Not like Orlando, a big city. It was a small city. It was a small city. Everybody knew everybody for generations. And so this particular person came, and Sahaba could not recognize who this person was. So they started staring at each other, who is this person? And this person had clothes on which were white in color, and there was no trace of dirt. So they were surprised that if he is coming walking through the desert, why his clothes are so clean. There's no trace of dirt. And there was no trace of sweating either. So, and then this person came and he kept on coming. He pierced through the circle of Sahaba, which was strange, because a person who will come, he will sit where the last person is sitting. So it was not a custom to pierce the halqa, the circle, and go all the way in the front. But this person did. He pierced the circle, went all the way straight, kept on going straight, and so Sahaba felt weird, like strange at this gesture. And then what was even more strange was that he went and he sat right in front of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like face to face. And there was no gap between the knees of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his knees, meaning his knees were touching the knees of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which was another very strange thing. And then he put his hand on the thigh of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now this was super strange. Nobody would put his thigh on the nobody would put his hand on the thigh or the shoulder of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but this person did. And then what was even more strange was the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not feel bad. In fact, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam felt very good. So a person like Umar, he got really mad. at this gesture, but when he saw the face of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he felt that Rasulullah is enjoying it and he's allowing this to happen. So Umar controlled his emotions, that if Rasulullah Sallallahu is feeling okay, although to us it is strange, so what can I do? And then this person said that instead of saying Ya Rasulullah, he said Ya Muhammad. Right? Very strange. Nobody called Rasulullah Ya Muhammad. Allah also did not call Rasulullah Ya Muhammad. Allah said Ya Rasul, Ya Nabi, Ya Al-Muzammil, Ya Ayyuhal Muddathir, but never Allah said Ya Muhammad out of love and respect. This particular person said Ya Muhammad. And again Rasulullah did not feel bad. And then he said, Mal Islam. What is Islam? Tell me. So Rasulullah explained to him, An tashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Rasulullah, that you believe in one God, you believe in Rasulullah, pray salah, give zakat, fast, all the arkan. And Rasulullah said that person said, Sadaqta. What you said is correct. What you said is correct. Now his affirmation to the answer of Rasul really baffled the Sahaba that who this person is, who is saying Sadaqta, that yes, you're right. But again, Rasulullah did not feel bad, so Sahaba kept their tempers in control. Then this person went on, he said, Mal Iman. Okay, now second question is, what is Iman? So Rasulullah said that Iman is an tu'min, that you believe in the other tenets of deen. And that is an akhirah, in qadr, and angels, and all the divine books and all that, right? So this person again says sadaqta. You are correct. Then the third person, he said, Mal ihsan. What is ihsan? Ihsan is a very high stage of iman, that after practicing iman for a long time, all your life, if you can reach that stage, that is called ihsan. So Rasulullah said, An ta'budallah ka'annaka tarah, fa'illam takun tarah, fa'innahu yarak. And that is to live the life with such strong belief that all the time you have this firm belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that I'm looking at Allah. Right? Or Allah is looking at me. Meaning that this consciousness that Allah is everywhere. I cannot run away from the knowledge of Allah. And then to live by it. To live by it. That is ihsan. Again this person says, Sadaqta, yes, you are correct. Then the fourth question was, Mata. Fourth and the last question was, okay, fine. Now last question is, when is the day of judgment coming? So Rasulullah gave a very interesting answer to this. Rasulullah said, Mal mas'ulu anha a'lam bis-sa'il, or kama qala Rasulullah. That the person who is being asked this question does not possess more knowledge about this in this matter than the person who is asking. Meaning you and I together, we don't have knowledge about it. We do not know when the day of judgment is coming. So that person again said, Sadaqta, yes, you are right, but Wama amaratuha, what are the signs of the day of judgment? That when those signs appear in the world, these are signs that the day of judgment has come really quick, or is coming very quickly. So Rasulullah said, yes, there are some signs are that when children become disobedient, right? The parents become like slaves to their children, right? Or when children start disobeying their parents, when they start yelling, screaming, showing attitude to their parents, when parents are scared of the mood swings of their children, right? So this is a sign that the day of judgment, meaning everything is now upside down. And then Rasulullah said regarding Arabs of that time, that another sign is that these Bedouins, right, who have nothing in the desert but camels, right? When that time will come when that these Bedouins will become rich, so much rich that they will start building lofty buildings. And then one group of Arabs will start competing with another group of Arabs, that's who can build a taller building than the other group. So when this competition will start, right, all of these people had nothing before, right? So this is a sign that the day of judgment is coming close. So that person again said, Sadaqta. Yes, what you said is true. And then this person stood up and left. And he left the way he came. He kept walking, and then disappeared. Now, during this session, Sahaba was just completely quiet, spellbound. When that person left, Rasulullah looked at the faces of Sahaba, right? Everybody was confused. Everybody had questions. But out of the reverence of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, none of them were asking any question. When Rasulullah saw a question mark on every Sahabi, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself initiated the explanation. And he said, Ja'a Jibreel yu'allimukum deenakum. This was Jibreel, the angel Jibreel who came in human form. This was Jibreel who came in human form. He was sent so that he can teach you your religion. He can teach you your deen. Right? Now, this hadith is a very famous hadith, which is in Sahih Bukhari and then Muslim and the rest of the books of hadith. Nearly every book of hadith has this hadith. So it's a very authentic hadith. This was witnessed. This incident was witnessed by great number of Sahaba, right? So it's a very authentic hadith. The reason why I quoted this hadith is to remind you about one fact, right? And that is that this is the month of Rabiul Awwal, right? It is commonly believed in many sections of the Muslim Ummah that Rasulullah was born in Rabiul Awwal. So the birthday of Rasulullah is celebrated in many parts of the world, right? Now I'm not going to go into that old debate whether it's halal or haram, right? Leave it to in fact, they should not be talked about anymore, I think. Because whoever is celebrating, let them celebrate. Whoever is not celebrating, they should not celebrate, right? So because every year on WhatsApp and other social media, this question becomes fresh again. And again debate, one group says, if you ask me, I say yes, it is wrong to celebrate Rasul. This is my opinion, right? You might disagree, that's fine. The reason for my basis is that I don't see any trace of this in the history of Islam. I mean, look, why should I celebrate the birthday of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Rasulullah himself never celebrated, right? Why should I celebrate the birthday of Rasulullah when Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman, none of the Sahaba celebrated? Next generation, Tabi'i, then Tabi'i, then the Fuqaha, Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmad, Imam Malik, Muhaddiseen, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Muslim, Imam Tirmidhi, none of them celebrated, none of them, right? Then third generation, fourth generation, there's no trace of the celebration of the birthday of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In fact, it's interesting that during the time of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there was no culture of remembering your date of birth. Right? It was not a culture, it's a pure Western culture. Right? For example, Christians celebrate the birthday of Jesus on the 25th of December. Right? Now, why? Because they just wanted to do it. Does it have any Christian tradition behind it? No. Why? Because this calendar, January, February, March, April till December, this calendar was not present during the time of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. In Jerusalem, over 2,000 years ago, right? This calendar was not introduced. It was introduced in West many centuries after, right? Plus, the Jews used to follow the lunar calendar. And in lunar calendar, like we follow, every year, right, days come at least 10 to 11 years earlier than the last year. For example, this coming year, 2024, Ramadan will start 10 days before 2023 Ramadan. Right? Why? Because lunar. So Jews also used to follow the lunar calendar. And Isa alayhi salatu wasalam followed the law of Torah. He did not brought any new law. Right? So how come 25th of December could be the birthday of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam when this calendar was not introduced? When they were not following this calendar, rather they were following lunar calendar. But it's a tradition. It's a culture that it's more of a Santa Claus thing than Jesus. You see? But Muslims are fascinated by this Western culture and other cultures. So we thought that if Christians are celebrating the birthday of Jesus, why can't we celebrate the birthday of our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Irrespective of whether it is halal, haram, bid'ah, you know. One more point. When was Rasulullah born? Definitely he was not born in Rabiul Awwal. For many reasons, I don't want to go into it. Most probably Rasulullah was born in Rajab. Right? So, but yes, he passed away on the 12th of Rabiul Awwal. All the historians agree on that. But again, this is my finding, my research. You don't have to agree. If you are celebrating the birthday of Rasulullah, it is between you and Allah. So that's not my point, right? The point, brother, is that let's say if Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was alive today, if Rasulullah was alive today, what would Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam be doing today? Let's say Rasulullah was present in Orlando on 29th of September 2023, right? Let's say he was, Sallallahu was in Jama Masjid Orlando. Just imagine for a minute. What was it that Rasulullah Sallallahu be involved in? Think about it. Look at the nature, the sunnah, the life, the seerat of Rasulullah. What would Rasulullah be doing here in Jama Masjid? Right? Think. Whatever you know about Rasulullah's life, his seerah, think. What would Rasulullah be doing? We have to do the same. My point of reminding you the hadith of Jibreel is, the Rasulullah said, Ja'akum Jibreel yu'allimukum deenakum. Jibreel was sent so that he can teach you your deen. Now, brother, the deen is that Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that wherever a Muslim is living, please pay attention to this. Wherever a Muslim is living, he must follow me, and my following means he should practice upon deen, and then he should convey deen. He should convey deen, not reform Muslims. Reformation is for Muslims. Conveying the deen is to non-Muslims. So you follow your deen, right? You follow your deen, right? But then do not forget those who do not believe in Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam yet. Right? So if Rasulullah was alive here, Rasulullah would not have been sitting here after Jummah. But after Jummah, Rasulullah would have been going and talking to Mr. John, Mr. Chris, Mr. this and that. Why? Because they are not believers. They don't believe in Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Right? Now, today, alhamdulillah, I think most of you sisters and brothers, right, must have read Surah Al-Kahf, right, brothers? If you have not read, please read it before Maghrib, before Jummah ends. Okay. In Surah Kahf, I think ayat number 6 or 7. Another, فَلَعَلَّكَ, who can read that? فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ, and then? Are you going to kill yourself, O Muhammad? Who is saying? Allah. Are you going to kill yourself, right, by working, right, calling people towards deen day in, day out? Allah is فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاقِعٌ نَفْسَكَ. Are you going to kill yourself, O Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Meaning no time, all the time da'wah, all the time thinking about people who have not accepted Islam. All the time thinking that, okay, this person became Muslim, now he should learn deen, that's fine. So please teach him deen, he's new Muslim, please teach him. Now Rasulullah is thinking about those who have not become Muslim. So Allah stopped Rasulullah. فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ. بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ, are you going to kill yourself? Allah yakunu mu'mineen. Because these people are not listening to you, but you're still going to them, still going to them, still going to them. So in the month of Rabiul Awwal, think about this ayah of Quran, Surah Kahf, ayah number 7 or 8 or whatever, 6. This was the sunnah. Now you have been living here for a long time. Many of you have been living here for more than 30, 40 years, right? And mashallah, you have earned lots of money. Mashallah, your living standard is better than you have ever imagined, right? You are living in luxury, alhamdulillah. From your house to your car, to your business, to your bank balance, to your asset, mashallah, everything is good, right? Why? Because Allah sent you in this country, right? And Allah chose you because you are a Muslim. When you came here, you started feeling shy of being a Muslim. Why? Why did you feel shy to introduce yourself as a Muslim?
Not everyone.
Yeah, but be confident. Be confident and then talk about deen. Whenever you get chance, call people towards Islam. Right? And call with them, like Allah said, وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. He said, brother, I'm a Muslim, right? Let's talk about deen. In Rabiul Awwal, all these celebrations that are going on, right? It's kind of strange that the sunnah of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not being followed. In America, you are living, and Muslim consists of barely 4-5 million, right? And then the population of this country is 330 million, right? And 330 million, 325 million approximately are non-Muslims, right? We are roughly 5 to 6 million only, right? Yet Allah chose to send us in this world, or in this part of the world, with this work that, you will make money. You will live a good life, don't worry about it. care of all of your needs. Do not forget. Right? Let me quote you, because we are always very much planning for future. Right? We are all thinking about our future. I'll tell you what is our future. Our future is death. Our future is death. Prepare for your future, and that is death. There's no future but death. And after death, you will face Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on the banks of Kauthar. And Rasulullah said that when they will be coming, I will be ready to give them the water of Kauthar. They come. This group from Orlando, come. I'll give you the water. All of a sudden, angels will come. No, yeah, Rasulullah, 1 minute. You people go away that way. And the angel will come and they will push such people away. Rasulullah said, hello, what are you doing? And the angel will say, Ya Rasulullah, you do not know. None of them preached deen to anyone. None of them did your job. They lived for the stomach, and that was their life. None of them cared to call a single soul towards Islam. Although you gave them, Allah gave them this job, and that is فَلْيُبَلِّغُ الشَّاهِدُ الْغَائِبُ. That a person who got Iman should convey the message to those who have not received it. Right? So, my dear brother, think about it. This is the month of Rabiul Awwal. People are celebrating the birth of Rasulullah. Brother, we should make a pledge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we would like to do the work of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam so that our future could be good. So that our future could be good. And then, brother, future is death. Right? Forget about all those, plans that we have made. Some of our plans will come to reality. Most of them will fail. Right? Ali Karamallah said, I came to know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Faskhul Azaim. Through witnessing how my plannings go to waste. Only the planning of Allah prevails. Only the planning of Allah prevails. So yes, plan your future, plan whatever, but do not forget the real future. Right? And that is innaka mayyit wa innahum mayyitun. Your future is that one day you will be dead, one day these people will be dead. This is everybody's future. Right? But before we get to that future, before we get to that moment, brothers and sisters, love Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Hubbur Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Right? Truly love Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Rasulullah said that La yuminu ahad, none of you could be a believer until you love me more than you love yourself. More than you love yourself. Allah said, An-Nabi awla bil mu'minina min anfusihim. Nabi should be beloved to you more than you love yourself. Only then you are a believer. So if you love Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, do the work of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Again, I will repeat in the end. In this country, hundreds of millions of people, 325 roughly million people, are going towards the path of hell, according to our belief. Right? They are doing shirk and kufr. You have iman, la ilaha illallah. Then why is it that you are not sharing? Why is it that you are not calling these people? Right? If you love Rasul, act upon the teaching of Rasul. And in the end, let's read together that famous ayah. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهِ. If you love Allah, then what? فَاتَّبِعُونِي. You follow and you obey me. يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهِ. If you obey me, only then Allah will love you. And when Allah would love you, يغفر لكم. Allah will forgive you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you and me understand. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanallah bihamdi.